So now, having that said, we already determined the draws that will be done within the construction start to the construction end date, and the draws that were done to acquire the land, which was $5 million. And we already simulated the repayments that will be made to the bondholders. And also, we already calculated the interest accrued. So in this case, we said that the interest based on the draws could happen within the year. So we made an assumption that it should be an average. So that's why we divided the draws by 2 and we multiply it by the monthly interest rate. So having that done, we saw that in this section that when construction starts, they drew approximately $961,000 to fund the project every month until the point where they started having positive cash flows coming in, so they could now begin to repay the debt until this point when they have nothing left to pay, and at the end of the 1st of March 2019, we can see that they were able to pay off the debt. Everything was being paid, and the interest accrued up to this point, and everything amounted down to 0. So as you can see that we have set up this debt schedule in such a way that at the end of the period, if we go equal to sum the interest accrued if we sum the draws, the repayments, and the interest accrued, then you can see that we amount down to 0. So everything is used, whatever cash we generated is used to pay down debt. And this is exactly what we expect in this model. So the maximum loan amount, we're going to determine the maximum loan amount so that we are not breaching the $21 million loan amount. So we go the maximum loan amount to take. We can see that it's approximately $19 million, and we are not breaching the $21 million, which was a 70% of the total development cost, as we can see in our deal summary schedule. So we are within the range, and that makes sense for this project going forward. And one other thing we want to account here is that for the development spend, you can see that we spent prior to the construction start date $600,000, as you can see, and $5 million of this land acquisition was acquired through debt. So, and then the balance will be funded by equity. As you can see, also for the construction spending, if I go hit F2, you can see that the date that we are in is greater than or equal to the date at which construction starts, and if the date we are in is less than or equal to the date at which construction ends, then we will be able to draw approximately $961,000 each month. Okay, so we are taking the total development cost, we deduct the pre-construction spending, and then we divide it by the total number of months within the date at which construction ends and the date at which construction starts. That's 15 months. So you see that it amounts to here total number. So as you can see, if you scroll down, this if you see down, you see the average $961. You count 15 months, and you see the sum up to approximately $50 million. So we will just sum this to account for that amount. And we go all equals, and we can see that the total development spend is approximately $29 million, and it's almost the same as what we had in our development cost section, only for the fact that there is this 900 this interest expense, this interest, and these commissions that comes as a result, which we already accounted for in our revenue build-up. So it's approximately that amount. So the only thing we have to do here now is to clean this border. You see, when I copied and paste, we're missing a border. That's why it's always advisable to use the spatial formula in Excel. So I will just make that Alt H B, so I can have that border in place there. So as you can see, we have this model well structured up to this point, and we are ready now to start building the levered free cash flow to the equity holders. So to this point, hopefully you have a better understanding on how you get paid at a certain point after when positive cash flows start kicking in. So you start recovering back your principal and the interest you invested in this project. So this is much to see up to this point, and hopefully I see you in the next video to illustrate the levered free cash flow